The ability to carry games is very skill-based, but it's also based on the tank you're driving. If you're using a vehicle like an Fe-205B183 or Jagdpanzer E100, yes, you do have a massive chunk of damage, and both of them even carry around 3,000 damage per minute. The issue is that you store all of this damage on one shot. So let's say that shot misses, or you kill one opponent, but there's still two left on the enemy team. Well, they just drive up to you, they get behind you, and they completely decimate your hit point pool because you're on a long reload. You also don't have that many hit points, and let's be honest, you don't have a turret, you're very slow, so you're very easily flanked and taken advantage of. I can tell you the best types of vehicles for carrying games are ones that have very high DPM, vehicles like the WZ-113, which is a fast tank going 50, and it's got a great gun regards to DPM, so that's fantastic. Then the next best are vehicles that are autoloaders. Even if you don't have a lot of DPM as an autoloader, the ability to store damage over time is insane. A vehicle like the TVP 5051 might be the worst DPM tier 10 medium in the game, only at around 2,500. But the fact that it's able to get out 1,240 damage 6 seconds after the first shot is insane, because you can completely clip half or even any tier 10 vehicle that late game has lost a bit of health, drive away, use your mobility, reload the clip while you're waiting for them to either catch up to you, and then do it again. And that's where autoloaders are amazing, is to be able to store damage and then use it over a very short amount of time and drive away and reload the clip, because unlike the Jagdpanzer, you don't suffer from the massive turret just to gain one shot that does a lot of damage. And then finally, we have, in my opinion, the best type of tank for carrying, which is the auto-reloaders. Vehicles like the Kranvang and Progetto 65, I personally feel, are the best tanks for carrying games and winning battles in general. Now, why is this? Well, it's the fact that they can shoot like a single-shot vehicle. A single-shot tank is great until you get pushed on by an autoloader that is able to store its damage, as we said, on you. So what if you're in a tank that can not only shoot like a single shot, but as well shoot like an autoloader? Well, that's the Progetto, which we're going to be playing in today's video. This tank, let's say you're up against an Object 140. Well, it can't push on you, even though it has more effective DPM, because you're going to clip it. And with that clip, you can then use the gun like a single shot and kill it. And at the same time, people don't know if you have 3 shells loaded or you only have 1. And if you shoot 1 shell, but you wait, people don't know if they can push on you. It creates a really scary situation where you don't really know how many shells a vehicle like a Progetto has unless you've been paying attention to it the entire game, which, let's be honest, is very hard to do. The tank is also very fast, going in at a top speed of 58 kilometers per hour forward. It's got a great traverse speed, and the gun, as I went over, it's great. In a matter of 6 seconds from the first shot, you are able to deal 1,050 damage, but then after that, you have 2,500 base damage per minute. But that's not to say this vehicle is all sunshine and rainbows, because it definitely has its fair share of downsides. First of all, it has a very poor power to weight ratio and pretty bad terrain resistances. What that means is you're going to see that at the beginning here. If you compare the 58 kilometer per hour top speed this vehicle has to, let's say, the M48 Patton, which goes 48, the M48 accelerates way faster than this vehicle does getting up to its top speed. So that's one big downside, is this tank really doesn't achieve its top speed unless you're on flat grounds like I am here. It also has absolutely no armor. Yes, its upper plate is incredibly troll, and I have bounced shells here and there on it, but as long as you know where to aim, which is either the turret or the side of the vehicle, you'll penetrate almost every shell. And yeah, having a weak turret for a vehicle that has really great gun depression, it stings sometimes. You really want to work this tank hull down, like you can see me working here, but I know that if anything pulls over the ridge and it's got big alpha, like a Sheridan, it'll just boom right through my turret, and that'll be it. Then I'll be down 600 health, and I may not even have gotten a shell back into the enemy. So that's definitely another downside, is fighting hull down tanks. It hurts quite a bit. And then we come to the final downside, its gun. The gun is great. We already went over how the gun makes it one of the best and most influential tanks for carrying in the game, which you're going to see an insane battle in just a moment here of the gun doing its job. But at the same time, it has the worst dispersion in tier 10 for a medium at 0.326. Like, look how bad my aiming time is. Just wait until you see the size of my aiming circle. Look at the aiming circle. That's a Jagdpanzer E100. That's one of the largest tanks in the game. And my aiming circle is absolutely massive. I was actually lucky that my shell even ended up going to where I wanted to on that Jagdpanzer. So the fact that this has more like tier 10 heavy levels of dispersion, in fact it does. The T95E6, which is an American heavy carrying a 120mm, has the same dispersion and basically the same aiming time as this medium. So there are big downsides for this tank. I don't want to say that this vehicle is all amazing because there will be times when the gun doesn't do what you want it to. There will be times when you can't work hull down on maps like Normandy and you just get bullied. So you do have to be careful in the Progetto. But if you can get it in a situation and run it correctly like this, then you are all golden. In just a short amount of time, we've already managed to been able to get up to 1,300 damage. And you couldn't have done that in any other medium. Those Jagdpanzer shots were 3 seconds between each other. And what that means is that a vehicle like a Leopard could not have gotten its second shell out, even with the fastest reload for a 350 Alpha in the game. And this 183 as well got in the cover before a Leopard would have been able to reload its shell. Because we got unfortunate there, my auto aim hit the roof of that 183. Thankfully, we had a second shell to save us, and we were able to finish off that 183 anyway. So there are definitely massive advantages for a vehicle like the Progetto, except for that, again, dispersion moment, although that was just really unlucky. But you can definitely see the massive advantages of having that clip, being able to shoot the enemy and getting away with it. I mean, that blind shot we fired at that 183 at the beginning of the game, we actually managed to hit. So we're already up to about 2,300 damage in this game, but yeah, my entire team's dead. I mean, that's a full health E100 on the enemy team, but I'm going to try and whittle him down. Wait for my, I tried to wait for that third shell, but it just didn't want to come in. But thankfully, we get 2 shells into his vehicle, bringing him down to a little bit less. It's better than nothing, but yeah, my 268, while he was actually a pretty big help this battle, it's just, he's not going to be able to hold off a Mouse, an E5, and a Boss Shotgun 25 ton. I do know that Batchat's actually facing towards me, though, but oh no, that's not fun. So we got the Batchat over here. I'm going to aim in a shell on his vehicle, get a nice shot in for 408. I will always take my high rolls. Then we're going to, I'm actually going to wait for my clip. I was thinking, do I want to shoot the C100? But I've got time. This guy's slow, and if he's going to push over the ridge on me, I might as well wait, let my clip reload, and get some big shots in. So again, I'm waiting. He backs up. So we got our shell in. Nice shot. Now that full health E100 is down to 900 hit points. Our auto reloading capability has been great. And here, because the Boss Shotgun tracked himself going over that hill, I waited for my first shell, waited for my second shell, and there you go. We get 2 shots into the Boss Shotgun. He misses his shot. I think he said he was lagging, but even if he had hit me, it still wouldn't have made much of a difference. His tank would have been cleared. And I mean, just look at what the auto reloading gun does. Now we've put ourselves from what was a 1 versus 4 into a 1 versus 2. That's great. I mean, thankfully my Object 268 was able to help me, but right now I'm running. I know that this is not a situation I want to be stuck in. I do not want to fight 2 tanks at once. I see the E100 is stuck, so I'm getting out. Drive. Thank you. Obviously, in a straight line, this vehicle is very fast at 58, so because I'm able to get away from the C5, that's perfect. And now that I got 3 shells loaded, well, I can clip this guy, basically. If he were to drive over, I can fully clip him, get 1 more shell in, and I'll easily beat the E5. I still out DPM him like 3 times to 1, so I'm going to push over to the side and see if I can get this guy cleared before the E100. While we are up on base cap right now, we are not going to be for very long, because that E100 actually starts capturing the enemy base. But thankfully, I was just able to penetrate 3 shells into that E5. And with that, again, now this is where the auto-reloading part comes into play. If I was in a Leopard, I wouldn't have been able to do that. I would have had to shoot him like a single shot, try and flank him or something. You couldn't do that. It would have just ended really, really badly. But because I've been able to store my damage, even though I missed this first shot due to my damaged gun, I still have another shell, which gets it into him, damages his ammo rack, and we have another shell. We make sure to load heat, make sure it pens, and now we're up to 6,000 damage. We've cleared the E5. I only bled about 800 hit points to do that. I mean, you can just see where the gun on this tank is absolutely amazing. Now, again, I'm waiting for my clip to reload. Waiting, 4, 3, 2, and there is the 100. Even though he shoots me, I am not super worried here because we have that auto-reloading capability. There's 1 shell into his tank. There's 2 shells, and we need 1 more shell. Obviously, 6 seconds. He doesn't reload that quick, so there you go. We got a bit lucky on the high roll there for that E100, but we came out with a win. That is what a vehicle like the Progetto can do. It is absolutely amazing in its carrying capability due to the fact that it can store shells, but also shoot like a single shot. And we didn't even really need to use the single shot all too much in this game, but if we needed to, like on that E100 there, it definitely could have helped us out. I love this tank. It will always be my favorite tier 10 medium, and this is just one of those crazy battles to showcase where the gun is amazing. The only other tank I can possibly think that would have been able to do this is a TVP. But in the TVP, you have to reload your entire clip every time you shoot, where in this vehicle, I had one shell loaded, we only needed to load two in, which saves me a massive chunk of time. Absolutely amazing tank. I love playing it, and you can see why it is such a carrying beast. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video. If you'd like to see more like it, please consider smashing that subscribe button down below. And other than that, I'll be seeing you in the next one. Bye-bye.